Welcome back to another episode of Pitstop Pals here on the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver, and this is
Kevin Oliver, number two.
no, this is the annoying guy who counts down from 11 to 5 to 3, skipping the 4 before we start.
My name is Bruce, guys. Hi.
Just call him annoying. It works too. He answers to that.
I said every number until five, and then I skipped four.
But you didn't have to start that high either.
Okay. I'll start higher next time. I get it.
No. See, once again, you can call him annoying. He answers. Anyway, here we are, ready for episode 6, Survivor 7, Survivor season 7. I don't know. I saw an S and said Survivor instead of season
Pearl
for some
Island.
reason.
Let's go.
Season 7, episode 6 of Amazing Race. Maybe I was saying Survivor because Rob and Amber are on the brain. I don't know.
And you and I had lunch and talked a lot about Survivor yesterday.
We did.
And he
That's
told
very
me how
true.
smart I am for all my great takes on tribal council.
That is definitely not what happened.
He's in denial. No one was there other than the two of us, so no one can prove me wrong. But that's the story I'm going with.
And I think our listeners know which one of us is more reliable in that. So, yeah. Okay. The episode of today's episode was Houston, we have an elephant. Do you know who said it, Bruce?
Um, Either Brian, Greg, or Gretchen.
I really wanted it to be Gretchen, but you're not right in any way. It
Okay.
was Uchenna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout
But
out to
I, what's that?
shout out to you, Chenna and Joyce, for being the only team capable of doing the head balance
Oh
thing.
my gosh, that's great. Why don't we wait till we get there to talk more about that? But
Oh,
yeah.
well, we will. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I really wanted it to be Gretchen because she's been on like a hot streak with the titles like the last 3 episodes or whatever. But no, it was you, Jenna. Houston, we have an elephant. Um, do you have any quotable quotes of
I
the week?
have, I have a couple. I wasn't writing a ton down,
How dare you?
but I have hi goats, goaty goat goat, and I have here's a goat with nice big teats,
Hey, I got that one.
which was Gretchen. So
Yes. I got some more. Is that all you had?
yeah,
This was from Alex. We're good, honest players. We're just sneaky.
that
He was
feels
saying
yeah,
other people, what?
that feels like a contradiction, but
Some
okay.
some teams are lying, some teams are bickering. We're just good, honest players, but we're sneaky.
Yeah.
Brian says big bucks, no whammies, and that is a reference. I don't know if you've ever seen Press Your Luck.
No.
It's a game show from like a long time ago that they actually just rebooted not that long ago, and basically you get spins on this board by answering trivia questions, and you have to stop it spinning or whatever. If it lands on a whammy, you lose your whole prize pot. If it doesn't, you're going to get some kind of prize. 4 whammies, you're out of the game. But they always say big bucks, no whammies as they get ready to press it. And so that's what he was referencing.
Nice.
Yeah. Um. Oh, I like this one. Greg says, I've seen so many sunrises with you. To Brian's response is, it's amazing. We should be dating. Keep in mind they're brothers,
Okay. That's illegal, but okay.
depending on the state. But
Well,
Ron says, I'm going to turn a nipple into a noose.
I missed that. That's fantastic. And that's, oh,
I knew he said something about a nipple. I had to go back like 3 times, still couldn't quite get it. So I had to turn on subtitles because I knew it was something that I wanted to write down. I also have your big teeth one. This one has big teats. Um, Uchenna yelling, "My African roots are kicking in," while he's balancing things on his head.
Yeah,
Um, Alex says, "I have a whole new appreciation for goat cheese now."
true.
Appreciate the goat cheese. That's
Those
right.
cheese do be tasting good though.
I've never had it. And then Lynn turns around and says, "How many gay guys does it take to milk a goat?"
Two, apparently.
Evidently. Um, Brian says, "Like a latte, like a cappuccino with foam." Evidently, goat's milk foams. I don't know.
Apparently.
And so when Alex and Lynn thought they were going to be last, they thought it was an NEL, and
Yeah.
so they knew they were gonna. If they were last and it was an NEL, they were going to lose their bags. And so Lynn says, "Alex, can you put my underwear on your head like a bandana?"
I actually love this way of kind of like hacking the NEL rule of just
Yeah, it was.
wearing all the clothes you have. That's super smart.
It is until you're trying to run.
Well, you've also got the way Brian and Greg were going to try to handle the NEL rule, which was
That
just
was incredible.
swimsuits and no shirt and sunglasses. It
That
was
was incredible.
fantastic.
And then my last quote was Gretchen calling her and Meredith the Energizer, the old Energizer bunnies. You can't stop them. Those are my quotes for the episode. You want to jump in here?
Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to Senkuyu Village,
Yeah, because
everyone's favorite village.
if you say so, they stayed the night in that salt pan. And Ron and Kelly were the first to leave at 5:29 p.m. Where they had to drive to, what'd you say, Sankuyo?
Senkuyu Village.
There was an O at the end, so I didn't know if it was Sankuyo or Sankuyo.
I'm guessing from what I wrote down, I think it's Senkuyu. We both watched it this morning. We both should remember it, but
Right. Well, I wrote it down the way it's spelled, and it ends in an O.
okay.
Anyway, and they have to find a water tower to receive their next clue. The thing is, they got to drive 140 miles just to the city of Mon, go past the city of Mon, another 48 miles to the village of Sankuyo to the water tower. And at least for the beginning of this, they just have to drive based on. Did Be Real just go off or something? What'd you do?
I saw that you had sent me a Snapchat message, so I was taking a
Oh,
picture of you on my screen and sending it to you on Snapchat in response.
I just got it. Okay. Um,
I haven't done Be Real in like a month, I think.
Probably longer actually for
I'm
you.
really bad at it.
Yeah. Um, but they had to just kind of drive based on those markers in the bush. There wasn't like a really good navigating system there. They didn't have a map wasn't helping them. They were just looking for markers on the road,
Yeah,
which could be very dangerous.
yeah, it could be.
They have $85 for the start of this leg. What?
I said they're big ballers.
Who said ballers?
I did.
Who's big? Oh, well, I'm confused.
$85. They're balling, man.
No. Anyway, there's a couple things I noticed here because we got another one of those openings where everybody got a confessional pretty much. And Ron and Kelly's relationship longevity is shaky at best, is what I wrote.
This episode later in the episode, I wrote down this is unlike them, or the spirits of Ray and Dina back. It's like
What?
Ron
Quite
and
possible.
Kelly have gotten along so well this season, and all of a sudden, this episode, there it's like the total opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ray and Dina went home, and instead of going home, they possessed Ron and Kelly.
Could have happened. Could have happened. Um, I also loved Gretchen's attitude in here. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was just uh talking about how incredible it was to still be racing and how well they did in this last leg with their best finish yet.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the fact that they're still there is awesome and surprising.
Yeah. But so they head on towards the St. Cuyo village, and everybody else reads their clue pretty much that says you're going to drive through past Mon to Sankuyo Village to the water tower. But for some reason, Gretchen thought they needed to stop at the first water tower they saw before they even got to Mon and search all over the place. And I just put read your clue. I mean, and Greg and Brian kind of do the same thing. So it's not just Gretchen and Meredith, but at that point it was.
Yeah.
What do you think of these detours? Because that's what happened when they got to their next clue in the Sankuyo village. They got their detour clue.
Yeah, so basically the two detours are milking goats versus balancing stuff on your head. And so many people went to the balancing on your head thing and then switched to the goat one. Rob and Amber, I think, showed up at the goats, saw that Ron and Kelly were there, switched to the head balancing, then switched back to the goats. But everyone other than Uchenna and Joyce went to the head balancing thing and then switched to the goats because the head balancing thing was really hard.
Yeah. So to start, Ron and Kelly, they went to the head balancing. They tried it for a while. Um, Kelly was getting nowhere with the big bucket of water
Yeah.
because they had to carry three separate items: a big bucket of water, some logs, and what was the other one?
I don't remember. The little
Some,
basket thing.
something smaller. Um, and so they switched to the milk. Then Rob and Amber come along, and like you said, they went to the goats. They saw that it was taking Ron and Kelly forever, so they went to head balancing. They started doing that, and then they went straight back to the goats. Then Alex and Lynn got there, and they went to goats, or they were gonna go to goats. Like they picked goats. They saw both of the two teams in front of them, so they went over to balancing, gave up, came back, just like Rob and Amber. Then Uchenna and Joyce are killing it because they're awesome. And then Meredith and Gretchen and Brian and Greg just went straight to the goats. Um, but while we're watching the milk goats, Brian and Greg are so far behind. They went to the wrong water tower, just like Meredith and Gretchen. They started climbing up the water tower.
Yeah.
Once again, read your clue.
Reading is good, children.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah. I mean, I just pretty much covered all of my notes from right there because there was a lot of switching back and forth, except for Joyce and Uchenna, and um, that's when Uchenna says that his African roots are kicking in because he was absolutely tearing that up.
He said they used to do this in his father's village or something like that.
The village that his father was from, they do this all the time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he was ever. I don't think he ever was from that village.
No, but that's the connection he was making when he said my roots are kicking in.
Yeah. So which one do you think we would do, Bruce?
The goats.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Everyone but one team had to switch and do that one because of how hard the other one was.
There's no way I could balance that water on my head.
Same.
Anyway, as they finish the detour, they are told that they have to drive 21 miles through the bush to Kauai River for their next clue. And here we get some more Ron and Kelly bickering, like we've been talking about. They've really just kind of been at each other's throats. It's too bad that that's going on, but hopefully they can figure something out here soon. But then other teams are starting to head towards the Kauai River too. Ron and Kelly and Rob and Amber towards the front. Joyce and Uchenna, then Alex and Lynn, whose car breaks down on them, and they have to get a replacement car brought to them. After they leave the goats, and Meredith and Gretchen, I think, kind of get lost as they leave the goats. So there's definitely some vehicle problems, whether it's navigation or maintenance, in this leg of the race.
Mm-hmm. Which is wild.
Yeah, but you got to remember,
we've had vehicle maintenance this leg. We've had a team turn a vehicle over. We've
yeah,
had last leg or two a few weeks ago. We had other transportation issues with those boats.
that was what was that 2 weeks ago?
Something like that. Where like everyone's boat was crappy for some reason.
Yeah, they were like taking on water, and Rob's like cracked in half. They couldn't go very fast because of their. Yeah, that was crazy. Um, but Alex and Lynn get the replacement car and get back on the road, and we find out that now we are going to a roadblock once we get to the Kauai River, and it's called Move Logs. Bruce, do you want to explain Move Logs?
The roadblock?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me find where my notes were. They have to navigate their vehicle through a crocodile river crossing. And then they're driving down this path that is blocked by these logs that are just trees elephants have knocked over. And
Mm-hmm.
one person has to move, each person has to move a log out of the way.
No, it's just one person doing everything. It's a
Oh,
roadblock. It's a roadblock.
they have to move the logs out of the road.
Yes. Uh, Using the tow strap that they have, and
Oh
and
yeah, forgot
there's
about that
two
part.
there's two logs, and there's also an important piece here where once you pick your path, you have to pull up the stake in the ground and take it with you, which becomes important later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bruce, which one of us would do this?
I'm big and strong. I can move logs.
Big and strong has nothing to do with it.
Well, strong helps you move heavy things.
But not when you're in a car.
Well, the car is big and strong.
Yes, the car is big and strong.
That's funny.
You think that you're gonna learn stick shift for us?
Oh, you can do it then.
I don't. I'd have to learn too, but
Oh, well then we're doomed and we're not gonna
well,
do
no. I mean, one of us would at least one of us would have to learn how to drive a stick shift before the race started, because I mean that's just a part of the race. Has
or
been from the beginning.
teleportation.
No, no. Has been since the beginning, and it will be until the show's end. Stick shift is a staple.
Yeah, unfortunately for us.
No, not unfortunately, not necessarily.
And I have to learn new things.
You don't have to. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I'm doing it. But the people who did the roadblock were Ron, Rob, Uchenna, Meredith, Alex, and Greg. And Alex is not a stick shift person at all. Anyway, the first two people to go through, which would have been Ron and Rob, they were they gunned it through there. And did you see all that water that came into the vehicle? That was
Yeah.
crazy. Those vehicles are not sealed well. That's how I take what I take there.
I also saw no crocodiles.
That's fair. Anyway, but then Uchenna went, and Joyce is telling him first gear, go slow, and the dude almost got stuck in there.
Huh.
If he would have just gunned it, I think he would have saved a lot of time. But that's whatever. Um, like I said, we find out Alex isn't good at stick shift driving, but he already chosen, so he's gotta be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, the pulling up the post is going to be important because here Uchenna he rips the ribbon off the post, but he doesn't take the whole post. Um, and so
Yeah.
he rips the ribbon off and just goes on his business. Uh, while Robin, Amber, and Ron and Kelly are fighting for the lead, they were doing the detour at the roadblock at pretty much the same time, and they got done with Rob just a hair before Ron did. And so they find out that their pit stop is 9 miles away at the Kauai River Lodge, Botswana's oldest safari lodge. I thought it looked pretty cool there.
That place looks awesome. Let's go stay there sometime. Road trip.
Okay,
I'll get one of those amphibious cars. We can drive across the ocean.
sounds good to me if you're paying for it. But there was a really interesting moment between Ron and Kelly here because Ron says, or Kelly's telling him to hurry up and grab the clue or something, and he says, "Chill out, Kelly," and she thinks he says, "Shut the f up." I don't know how that got confused.
I don't know. I haven't. This is where I wrote down what is happening. Did Ray and Dina's spirits back? Because she's mad for telling her to shut the f up. He does.
He didn't say it though.
Yeah, and he tells her that, and she then calls him a piece of trash redneck. I'm like,
Yes.
this escalated really quickly. What is happening? This is not like them.
No, not at all. It was crazy because all he told her was, "Chill out, Kelly."
Yeah.
It was
No.
messed up. Um, but to be fair, first episode, I did make the comment. Going on the amazing race is not the way to define your relationship.
Yeah.
Like they're just dating. They don't even know if they want to get married or anything. So let's go on the amazing race, the most stressful 21 days of your life
Yeah.
together to figure that out. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, if you ask me.
Absolutely, it does.
Um, while Ron and Kelly are fighting on their way to the pit stop, though, Alex hits a stick and gets a flat tire, and they have to get a second replacement vehicle on this episode.
Yeah. It them and vehicles are not working out this episode.
It's really, no, it's not good. Also, here, Brian and Greg are pretty darn far behind at this point. They're not even to the roadblock yet, but we find they want something manly for their detour or for their roadblock because evidently milking goats and balancing things on your head are for little farm ladies.
That's another good quote.
Yeah. Which I will point out, I did say that when the meatheads didn't get a meathead challenge, that was going to be their downfall.
Fair enough. And yeah,
Uh,
I do want to point out though, because about this point is where like we see teams preparing, two teams preparing to get NEL possibly,
yeah,
and you
and
and you see
why?
teams kind of planning and hacking for that. You see Lynn and Alex putting all their clothes on so that when their bags get taken, it doesn't make a difference. and you see the meatheads, as you like to call them,
Yeah,
change clothes into just their swim trunks with like warm hats and sunglasses on and finish the race that way. So that Phil would see them and think we have to NEL these people so that we can watch them race like this. Just wild approaches to this, and I think both of them are hilarious.
I'm sitting here thinking these through because we know that I think there's one more NEL. I think he said two, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to map this out. I'm not coming up with a very good solution here because this was episode 6 and we had 6. Episode 7 we're starting with 5. If that's an NEL, episode 8 will start with 5. Episode 9 will start with 4. That means 10 should be the finale.
Watch it do what 25 did to us and just have an NEL right before the final leg.
I was going to say because there's 11 episodes in the season.
Yeah, so
So
there's definitely at least one more NEL.
there is one more NEL. He said I'm pretty sure he said there's going to be 2.
I
There's
do.
also we're also looking for another fast forward somewhere here. Um
Yeah.
but
How
I almost wonder if it's a 2-week finale.
how fantastic is the swim trunk approach to the NEL though? That was
Oh yeah.
funny.
It's great. And I it's
And I wish it
I
would have
haven't got there yet, but I will.
I wish it would have happened just because wanted to see them finish the race like that.
Right. Yeah. I'll cover that in a minute. But I almost wonder if it's going to be a 2-week finale.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. But the math ain't mathing somewhere. That's all I got to say.
Math does that.
Anyway, we see here Robin and Amber are team number 1, and they get a trip to the French Riviera. 5-night stay, helicopter transfer, and I'm still really salty because last week Ron and Kelly came in first and got no reward. But every time Rob and Amber come in first, they do get a reward.
Yeah.
They have like 3 vacations now.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
And I'm not hating on Rob and Amber. I just want to know why Ron and Kelly were excluded from getting a reward.
I don't know. I hate that for them though.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had won a reward, they'd be happier. Maybe they're bickering so much because they're frustrated from not getting a reward.
Maybe. I would be. After Ron and Kelly got there, Uchenna and Joyce were the third team to arrive, but Phil tells them that they have to finish the roadblock correctly before he can check them in. He doesn't tell them what they did wrong, but he tells them that they did something wrong. They look back at their clues and realize that Uchenna did not grab the post. And so they have to drive the 9 miles back to the Quiet River edge to grab the post.
Yeah.
They do that, and it looks like they're still going to end in third because they got that much of a lead already. Especially because Meredith and Gretchen literally drove past their clue.
Yeah, they also finished and had to go back. They had to go get their clue.
Yeah, but Eugenia and Joyce come in third, and then Meredith and Gretchen accidentally found the pit stop.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the clue. I said, "What the heck? Like, how do you accidentally find the pit stop?"
I don't know. They're just so fun to watch. So bizarre.
So Phil had to
Very
send
similar.
them back for their clue before he could check them in. I want to mention here, Lynn had a good outlook on things for once in his life. While
Yeah.
he was driving, right before they started preparing for the NEL, he told Alex, even if we get last, you did something that was really that I know was really hard for you, and basically we win because of that. So he actually took his eyes off of Rob and Amber for a second and looked at things from a bigger perspective, and that's
Oh.
beautiful. For
Yeah,
one,
he's likable when he does that.
yeah, absolutely. But they think it's an NEL, and then that's when they pile on their clothing. Um,
Smart plan.
it is, but then they find out they're in fourth place, and they can't believe it.
So yeah, fourth out of six. You weren't even close to last, even if you did get NEL'd.
Yeah, and that's also when we see Brian and Greg say, "Man, I hope this is an NEL," and think they're going to force Phil into wanting to have them continue in their swimsuits, which were pretty rad. He literally
Good
says,
idea, though.
he literally says in a confessional, "Phil, I dare you to eliminate me in this."
It's a meathead plan, but it's hilarious. I wanted to see. I was hoping for it just so I could see them run a whole leg like that.
Right.
Even
Meredith and
though
Gretchen, though,
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be allowed to get on a plane without a shirt on. So I'm not sure how that would work.
I have
But
a feeling somebody would give them clothes like Joyce and Uchenna did for Meredith and Gretchen.
fair enough.
But Meredith and Gretchen, they come in fifth, and that's when they call themselves the old Energizer Bunnies. And then of course Brian and Greg, Team Six. But Phil's face when they rounded the corner, he did not know what to think when he saw their outfits.
Yeah.
But Brian and Greg have been eliminated. I drew a little sad face because I was sad about that.
You drew a sad face?
I did.
You always get on to me for being too big, for liking them too much, or whatever you say.
I'm not obsessed with them like you are,
I'm not
but
upset. I just think they're the humor of the season a lot of the times, just because
yeah,
of meatheadedness.
yeah, because they're meatheads.
They're funny meatheads.
They are, and that's why they jump into the pool after they've been eliminated.
We need. I want to see them compete with some of the teams on the 25 cast, just for humor purposes.
Like who?
I don't know. Just throw them in that season. That cast was so much fun, and this cast is so much fun. I think I just
Yeah.
want one giant season with both casts combined. One like 20 team season.
Hang on.
Or however many there were. Just put all the teams from both seasons together because both of these casts have just been incredible.
Right. Um, Gretchen and Meredith are kind of in their 80s at this point, though,
Well, Time Machine.
so that wouldn't go over well.
And Brooke and Robbie aren't together anymore. So that also would kind of raise a problem. But
Neither are Joyce and Uchenna.
true. From what my mom was telling me though, they stayed together for a while after the show ended. So
Yes, they got divorced in 2011. I told you that last week.
I forgot what year you told me. But I feel like there's a better chance of them working together than Brooke. Brooke and Robbie bickered a lot when they were together. I can only imagine them being broken up trying to work together.
That's true. Plus, Jim's dead.
Well, that conversation just took a turn. Gosh.
Well, you're trying to put casts together of dead people and divorced people and 80-year-olds.
No, I'm imagining I have a time machine to do this so I can get them all from when the season aired.
If you say so. But that was this episode of The Amazing Race, episode 6. It's sad to see Brian and Greg go. We are down to 5 teams left. We have Rob and Amber, Ron and Kelly, Joyce and Uchenna, Lynn and Alex, Meredith and Gretchen. We have, I think, 5 episodes left, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 left on this season. It's we're getting to some interesting parts of it, and this was a fun episode, Bruce.
It was. Also, real quick, because you saying Jim's dead now so abruptly made me think of someone who is a professor. I've got my Central shirt on. I never had this professor, but
Oh,
I've heard Professor Pelfrey at Central used to say, would tell a story and then ended abruptly with, well, he's dead now. So
he
shout
did that
out
all the
to him.
time.
I never had any of his classes or got to hear one of his lectures, but he's a big deal at the school we both went to. So,
Yeah, he's the co-founder.
yeah,
Shout out to another co-founder of the college, Gareth Reese, who passed away this week
yeah, that made me
or
sad.
this last week.
I
Um,
did get to have a week of his lectures without having to have one of his tests though, and I've heard his tests were
you
super.
are blessed. You are blessed.
I had Axe class with Dr. Stevens my second semester there, and the week like Harper and Stevens had were on the Israel trip, spring break, and the week after. So the week after, Reese was doing the Acts lectures for Stevens, and then Stevens came back the next week. So I got to hear the lectures without the test. I feel like I win.
You do. The tests are rough.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Shout out to Reese and Pelfrey, though. I wish I had had both of your classes. You guys retired. They knew I was coming and decided to retire.
that's right. They left when I left.
Fair enough. This was a fun episode. Check out our merch store.
Hey! We're not done.
Okay.
We haven't done power rankings.
I forgot about that. I'm smart. It
This
just
guy. This guy. Well, it's only 5 teams, so it shouldn't be too hard for you. Who you got in fifth, Bruce?
Mm, Meredith and Gretchen again. I keep putting them last and they keep surviving, but that's got
Well,
to run out at some point, I feel like.
I also have Meredith and Gretchen here. I just don't think that they can hang with the other four, but we'll see, I guess.
And this is where it gets hard because the other four are really close.
Yeah.
So
Who do you got in fourth?
I could see any of these four winning at this point, but what I'm going to say is Lynn and Alex, just because they've kind of been finishing under the other three the past couple times.
Yeah, I also picked Lynn and Alex. They've had a strong showing this season.
Yeah.
But they had a really unfortunate week this week, with having to get replacement cars twice and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I couldn't put them above these other three, in my own opinion,
Yeah.
right now. Anyway, who you got in third?
I have Ron and Kelly. I know they finished second this week. They won last week, but their team chemistry is a concern for me. She ended this week saying, I just don't feel close to him at all right now. And like, I don't know how that's going to work going forward.
After calling him a piece of trash redneck.
For something he didn't say, and he told her he didn't say.
Yeah.
They were bickering the whole time, but that last one was 100% her fault for hearing wrong. I don't know what he was supposed to do there. The rest of it was all pretty back and forth. Him saying while milking the goat, the other one would be so much quicker that knowing she couldn't do it didn't help anything. I love them. They've been one of my favorite teams so far. This episode really has me concerned about them, though. And as
I hear you.
tight as these top three are, that makes a difference.
I also have Ron and Kelly here.
Whoa.
Because of the chemistry thing. They are my favorite team on this season. But after this week, I'm nervous.
Are we going to have the same rankings?
I think we are.
That's never happened with either of our two rewatches.
No.
Okay. Number dos. Uchenna and Joyce. Is that who you got?
That's who I got.
Yeah. We did it.
They absolutely tore it up this week, especially on that detour. And I mean, they're hitting their prime at the right time of the race, and I think that's super important as we go into the top five.
Yeah, just read the clue. That's my only notes for them.
Yeah, but that's also my
The
notes
whole
for
post out of the ground, not just the ribbon.
that's also my notes for Brian and Greg and Meredith and Gretchen.
Yeah, Meredith and Gretchen accidentally finding the pit stop is one of my favorite moments of this episode. Because
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh,
crazy. But I was
oh,
referring to when both of them didn't or went to the wrong water tower
well
at the
that
beginning
too, but they also just completely skipped a clue and went to the pit stop, and I don't know how they found it.
because they just kept following the markers.
That's fantastic.
He thought that the clue would be there, not Mr. Phil.
Yes, you're calling him Mr. Phil now too. I love it. I've corrupted you.
I've called him that for weeks at this point.
I know. I've been doing it since either Tim or TJ,
Yeah.
but I forget which one. Yeah. Whoever
So we
they're up
both
to now.
that means we both had Rob and Amber as our number one team.
They've been the most consistent team all season.
They have. They're playing great,
They
and
finished fifth like one time, but other than that, they've been really strong.
they're not. I think they've done fifth twice,
Okay.
but um, they've been really good. Can't deny how good they are at anything they do, and that's just the truth of it. And there's no denying that. There's no hiding that. But like you said, all four of these uh, teams above Meredith and Gretchen are pretty even.
Oh yeah, I could see any of them winning, honestly, and wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, you got any plugs for us as we head on out of here?
Tribal Council chat, Survivor 47's in full swing.
And I'm winning the draft.
Yeah, I make a boat. So 46, like someone texted me and said I said I over analyze things and need to be bolder instead of explaining why either outcome could happen. I said Kenzie's gonna win halfway through the season, and she did. So I did that again this week. Go check that out to see who I think is gonna win. There's a couple people that I wouldn't be surprised on, but I did plant my flag in one person's camp for who's gonna win Survivor 47. So knowing my luck, they'll probably go home next episode, but I would be shocked if that happened. Okay, then
Yeah.
again, I was shocked last week. So Survivor 47's been fun. Check out Tribal Council chat. Check out what they're doing over at New Generation Challengers. And check out our merch store. There's a lot of cool designs on there for all three shows. There's even a design of mine and Kevin's faces on it if you want us staring at you all the time.
That's incredible. I love that design.
So yeah, they're all so good.
But I created that one, so I'm taking full credit on it.
Yeah, well, I designed. There's an Align Blindside First Boot one from Tribal Council Chat that I designed that you guys should go check out.
You can't take full credit on that one, though.
It was my idea and I made it.
It
You
was not your idea.
Doing an Align Blindside First Boot one was absolutely my idea.
Doing it, but not the actual design.
I still made it.
You made it.
I don't get 100%, but I get at least 75%.
I mean, I'm not discounting you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I get like 75, 80%, I feel like. This is great content, by the way.
I don't know about the 75-80, but it's what it is.
Majority share.
I'll give you 51.
Okay, Kevin O'Leary.
No, because if I was Kevin O'Leary, I'd ask for a royalty deal.
All right, guys, check out all our stuff. Have a great week.
The world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Travel safe.
And go.